Well, I saw us all huffing and puffing. We were winded, but that's to be expected. They've been off 9 days, and then they came back on the 27th. So we were gasping for air at times. That's why I subbed 5 in and 5 out. I've said this before tonight. Lauren makes us a better basketball team because of her experience, because of her ability to pass the ball, because of her, she just has knowledge. She sees things develop before they develop. And so having her back on the floor, she's not a polished product right now, but who expects that when you sit out that long? But little by little, we'll all get back in shape and start being a little bit more polished.
Talk about the play of Melissa Smith and what caused her to be able to get 25 points.
I kept her in there and let her get that last rebound. Did you see that? Now, what an unselfish team. Juicy said, Coach, take me out and let Melissa get one more rebound. So you're not going to always have the opportunity to let them get a double-double or break a record. But when you have that opportunity and you're that close and they're pulling for each other and you can do it, you do it. And I think she got it, with about 6 or 7 seconds left there at the end. And you got to give Juicy credit. I guess she remembered the other night they helped her break a record. So for Nalissa to be able to get that rebound and have 10 rebounds, and that's a big deal to us because if you get 10 rebounds in our program, you get your name on the board. Because we go every game, we put stats on the board, what our goals are and what we achieve. But if you are a rebound star, you have to have 10 or more. And so she gets to keep her name on this game line the rest of the year.
Melissa, again, with Lauren being back, did things open up a little bit more for you than they have been with her out?
For sure, when Lauren's on the floor, just everything feels a lot more smooth. Like, it went back to, like, the basics, how everything was normal. We find each other on the floor well. I feel like we play good together, so I'm glad she's back.
Lauren started off the first quarter, like she said, a little bit slow, kind of taking the rust off. How did you feel going to the second quarter? And are you trusting your body and your leg and everything a little bit more?
Yeah, it's not. I don't question it. It's just about getting back in shape. I mean, I haven't played for 6 weeks, and there's nothing that you can do off the court to get back in game shape besides playing.
Kim, 70 points in the paint. That's a big number even for you guys. Do you look at that at all as indicative of anything?
No, I really don't. Not in a game like this. You know our reputation. We're going to have post touches. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the posts are going to do all the scoring. But I just believe that if you can just make them touch the ball, they're going to find open players or they're going to score it themselves. And, I really didn't know that, Chad, till you said that we had that many in the paint. But, in games like this, you probably should. You're bigger, you're stronger. And our kids are so programmed into having those post touches, they're going to throw it in there.
Another big product or reason that happened is that you guys were pushing the ball off of rebounds, it seemed like. Is that an emphasis going into the game to do that?
Well, yes, we always write our stuff on the board before the game, and I wanted to run. I think in a game right after the holidays, when you've been off as long as we have, that needs to be like a practice out there. That needs to be a lot of running. That needs to be a lot of defense. It needs to be a lot of movement. And I thought the crowd was outstanding tonight. And I told them in the fourth quarter, I said, you haven't given this crowd anything to get excited about other than that you're winning. Go out there and play the game with movement, trap, move, run, be excited. And I think you saw that a little bit the last 5 minutes. Just go move and do something. And because we kind of just got in a rut of just going through the motions, and just go make something happen. And I thought we did that about 5 minutes to go in the game.
Lauren, you watched 8 games from the bench. Was there anything that you saw during that time where when you got in tonight, you were like, I can make these things happen?
Just help side defense. I'm good at knowing when to help, knowing not when to help. So Dee Dee, I think she can apply a little bit more ball pressure because she knows I'm back there and she trusts me to help her out.
What makes this team so special, Coach, this year? You guys are poised to make another real run?
Well, we're not the same team that we were last year, and I don't think that's fair to ever say unless you have all returning starters. We are a team that has a mixture of youth and talent and experience. And I think we forget that you're looking at replacing a big part of our program in Kalani Brown. When all else failed, you had a 6'7" kid down there, throw her the ball. We don't have that type of post player. So you don't expect the same type of team. You have to be patient with youth. You have in Lauren an All-American that can help them become more confident, can help them grow. And then, especially the point guard position, none of us knew that Chloe Jackson would do what she did playing a new position. So with Cooper, you're basically doing the same thing, and she is a totally different player than Chloe. So the similarities to last year's team would be they have fun. There's no drama. They enjoy each other. And that's probably a product of all but 3 of them got a ring. Is that right? All but Cooper, DeGrate, and J.O. The rest of them got to experience Tampa, and they remember what that feels like, and they want to do it again.
Kim, you mentioned the 9 days off and things you did tonight, you know, in order to get back in shape, but then you turn around and start conference in 5 days. Did you see things tonight that make you comfortable about going into Big 12 play?
No, you're never comfortable as a coach. You just go to work, and we'll go to work again tomorrow and start talking about OU. Non-conference, with the exception of Connecticut coming up, is really over. It's done. Pat yourself on the back. You lost 1 game thus far in non-conference, but none of that means anything. What matters is you're trying to win another Big 12 championship, and you started on the road. And that's the challenge, is that now the nuts and bolts of your schedule is upon you, and this is so much more important than non-conference.
Is it also a challenge to have your Big 12 opener and the showdown with UConn in the next 10 days?
Well, you debate whether you want to do that when you're scheduling, because you'd like to have it all done before conference starts, and it hasn't been that way. And it goes to television. It's for television reasons, to try to expose your program. And sometimes you have a team that you think you can go do that, and sometimes you don't. You know, I think the difficult part for us will be, are we going to be in the flow when we play OU and when we play Connecticut now that Lauren's back? I don't know if we will or we won't, but we scheduled it and we're going to go play. And we'll give it our best shot, but we're never going to let a UConn game or any non-conference game be more important than the 18 and the Big 12.
Melissa, what has Lauren's return meant to you as a teammate, as a player?
Like I said, it was great. Like, just knowing she's on the floor, she always knows how to lead the team. I just feel comfortable playing with her. We share the ball well, like I said earlier, and
How do you feel about your career high tonight, 25 points?
Feel good.
Career high. Ooh.
Yeah, it's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Final game of 2019, final game of the decade. Looking in the future, looking back, how do you think that this decade is going to be remembered for this program?
God, that sounds old.
That was deep.
Man, decade, that's 10 years, right? Well, we won 2 national championships, right? You know, I'll let history speak for itself when I'm retired, dead and gone. You just continue to try to recruit great players and maintain a level of excellence that was started 20 years ago, 2 decades ago, when this coaching staff was hired. And it's hard, you know, and I preach this all the time, and I don't think it registers. I really don't. Don't become complacent, and don't take it for granted. it doesn't last forever. And when it's gone, it's going to be hard to get it back. And that's why every day we wake up thinking of something to keep the program relevant, particularly in women's sports.
Speaking of coaching staff, you recently, over the summer, promoted Kaylin Rice up to assistant. What kind of backed your decision to do that?
Kaylin earned the right. She's worked her way up. I've watched her from the time she was a player in high school and the role she played and what she did to help her team in situations, and then watched her in our program as a manager. Her knowledge and her comments to me let me know this young lady's going to be a great coach someday. I'll never forget the first scouting report she did. She had a grand slam. She was comfortable presenting it to the team. It was something that you just knew, wow. And what she lacks is contacts, learning people, but you got to start somewhere. I started doing what she's doing when I was 23 years old, and I had no one around me to teach me back in the day. And she's got Coach Messer, she's got Coach Brock, she's got a wealth of knowledgeable people who can help her in recruiting. The basketball end of it, I don't worry about it. She's been around our program and knows that part of it. But just becoming more familiar with a lot of the recruiting aspects.
She mentioned specifically one moment when she hurt her knee her senior year playing with Mackenzie, and remembers you going up to her and saying, hey, if you ever think about coaching, why don't you come to Baylor? What kind of made you do that at that?
I'm very observant. I'm observant of people working our stat crew. I'm observant of young people who work in the athletic department. They don't know it, but I just observe little things that just grab my attention. It could be anything. And I watched her. She was not a starter. She was not one of the primary players, but I would watch her mannerisms in timeouts. I would watch what she did with her teammates. It was like a little coach, and not a cheerleader type. You could just tell this girl loved basketball. And I was in the stands, and her father was on Art Brawl's staff, and they were, I think, at the Texas Bowl or somewhere, and her parents were not there. And I didn't know Kaylin well. I knew who her dad was, having coached at Baylor, but I knew she had had knee surgery, and she hurt her knee in the game. And I watched her walk by me, and I just leaned over the rail, and I said, what are you going to do when you graduate? And she said, I really don't know yet. I'm obviously not going to play basketball, but I would like to coach someday. And I said, well, I don't know if you want to come to Baylor. I don't know what your plans are, but if you do come to Baylor, I'd like for you to be a part of our program and be a manager. Some of the best coaches I've had were managers, and they're now coaching at different high schools. On my staff, Jennifer Roberts started out as a manager. Jordan Westbrook on my staff was a manager. They know and do everything. And I just said it to her, and then she took me up on it. She called me one day and said, Coach, I want to come to Baylor and be a part of it.
And so what do you think that she could become?
She's going to be a superstar. She's just got energy. You don't have to tell her what to do. You don't have to look over her shoulder to make sure she's working. If there's any aspect of coaching, she can do it. Whatever you need, work the computers, graphics, marketing, get on the phone and work recruits, go out there and draw up something, go out there and do a one. She can do it all. And that also was something that made me think, I'm going to give this young lady a shot.
So you feel pretty good about your decision?
I do.
Thank you.
Lauren, what are your thoughts on moving to second all-time in blocks?
I
Did you know that?
Didn't even know that.
With 251 it says?
All right. Well, that's what I do. Play defense.